The internet doesn't just react anymore, it explodes. And right now, one story has taken over timelines everywhere. Megan Thee Stallion has reportedly ended her relationship with NBA star Klay Thompson, and what's making this even bigger is the reason behind it. According to Megan herself, trust was broken, and many fans believe she was pointing directly at cheating. But here's where things get complicated. Because while Megan has spoken out, Klay Thompson has remained completely silent. No statement, no denial, no confirmation, and that silence has only made the situation even more intense. So what actually happened between Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson? Was this a private relationship that suddenly went public? Or is there more to the story than we're being told? Let's break it down. The story didn't begin with a formal announcement. There was no red carpet debut, no official relationship confirmation, and no interviews where they openly discussed being together. Instead, like many modern celebrity relationships, it existed quietly, mostly through hints, appearances, and social media speculation. Over time, fans began to connect the dots, and the idea that Megan and Klay were seeing each other started to gain traction. At first, it seemed like just another celebrity rumor. But unlike earlier speculation, this time there was a shift. Reports began suggesting that the relationship was real, even if it wasn't publicly defined in traditional ways. And just as people were starting to accept the idea that something was happening between them, everything changed. Megan Thee Stallion took to social media and shared a message that immediately caught attention. In that message, she spoke about loyalty, trust, and respect, three things she made clear had been compromised. While she didn't directly name Klay Thompson in a detailed explanation, the timing and context made it obvious to many that she was referring to him. That's when the cheating allegations entered the conversation. Fans quickly interpreted her words as a clear accusation. Screenshots spread across platforms. Reaction videos started appearing within minutes. And suddenly, what was once a quiet, low-key connection turned into a full-blown public controversy. But here's the key detail that often gets lost in viral moments like this. Megan's statement is the only confirmed source of this claim. She has publicly expressed that something went wrong and strongly implied a betrayal. However, there has been no independent confirmation proving that cheating actually occurred. And that distinction matters. Because in today's digital environment, allegations can quickly turn into facts simply through repetition. The more a claim is shared, the more real it begins to feel, even if there is no verified evidence behind it. At the same time, Klay Thompson's silence has added another layer to the situation. In celebrity culture, silence is often interpreted in multiple ways. Some people see it as confirmation, others see it as strategy, and some believe it simply means he's choosing not to engage publicly. But without a response, the narrative remains one-sided. This is where things become especially interesting. Because while Megan's statement has driven the entire story forward, the lack of a second perspective leaves room for interpretation. Fans are filling in the gaps themselves, and as a result, the story continues to evolve with every new post, comment, and reaction. Social media has played a massive role in amplifying this situation. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram are filled with breakdowns, theories, and reactions. Some users are fully supporting Megan, praising her for speaking out and standing up for herself. Others are questioning the situation, asking whether there is more to the story than what has been shared. And then there are those who are treating the entire situation as entertainment, creating edits, memes, and dramatic retellings that blur the line between reality and narrative. This is the modern celebrity news cycle. A single statement becomes a headline. That headline becomes a trend. And that trend becomes a story that millions of people feel connected to, even if they don't know the full truth. Another important aspect to consider is the difference between public and private relationships. Not every celebrity relationship is meant to be public, and not every breakup needs to be explained in detail. In this case, it seems like Megan and Klay may have chosen to keep things private until something went wrong. And when it did, the situation shifted from private to public almost instantly. Megan's decision to speak out suggests that whatever happened had a strong emotional impact. Her message focused on values like trust and respect, which are often at the core of any relationship. By highlighting those points, she made it clear that the breakup was not random. It was the result of something significant. At the same time, it's important to approach the situation with balance. While Megan's perspective is valid and deserves to be heard, it is still only one side of the story. Without a response from Klay Thompson or additional verified details, it is not possible to fully confirm everything that is being claimed. This doesn't mean the allegations are false. It simply means they are not fully verified. And that's an important distinction, especially in a world where information spreads faster than ever. Another reason this story has gained so much attention is the combination of fame and contrast. Megan Thee Stallion represents the music industry, while Klay Thompson represents professional sports. When two high-profile figures from different worlds are connected, it naturally creates curiosity. People want to know how they met, what their relationship was like, and what went wrong. But in many cases, those details remain private, and what fills the gap is speculation. This situation also highlights how quickly narratives can change. Just days ago, the idea of Megan and Klay being together was still developing. Now, the conversation has shifted entirely to their breakup and the alleged reason behind it. That speed is a defining feature of today's media environment. Stories don't just develop, they transform. And often, they transform based on limited information. So where does that leave us? Here's what we actually know. Megan Thee Stallion has publicly indicated that her relationship with Klay Thompson is over. In her statement, she emphasized issues of trust and respect, which many have interpreted as a reference to cheating. That interpretation has driven the current narrative. However, Klay Thompson has not responded publicly, and there is no independent confirmation verifying the cheating allegations. Everything beyond Megan's statement exists within interpretation, reaction, and online discussion. And that's the reality behind the headlines. At the end of the day, this situation is a perfect example of how modern celebrity stories unfold. A private relationship becomes public. A personal statement becomes viral. And a single perspective becomes the foundation for a global conversation. But even in the middle of all that noise, the facts remain limited. The breakup appears to be real. The emotions behind it are clear. But the full story is still incomplete. And until more information comes out, if it ever does, that's where things stand. If you want more real breakdowns like this, no exaggeration, no fake drama, just the fact behind the headlines, stay tuned. Because in today's world, knowing the difference between rumor and reality is more important than ever.